Hello, everyone. My name is Azael Herrarte, and I chose the film Y tu mamá también. One of the main reasons why I went for this film is because the title drew me in. This title translates to And Your Mother Too in English. This Mexican film was directed by Alfonso Cuarón and was released in 2001. This work of art gained international acclaim for its storytelling, cinematography, and exploration of social and political themes. This film follows the journey of two teenage boys named Tenoch and Julio, who embark on a road trip with the older woman named Luisa. The story begins with the boys' girlfriends leaving for a trip to Europe. In an attempt to impress Luisa, the wife of one of their cousins, they invite her to join on a road trip to a fictitious beach called Volca del Cielo, or Heaven's Mouth. As the trio travels through rural Mexico, the film delves into the complexities of friendship, sexuality, and the social and economic disparities in the country. The narrative of this film is conducted via voiceover by the omniscient narrator, providing insight into the characters' lives and commenting on broader societal issues. One notable aspect of this film is its explicit depiction of sexuality and its exploration of characters' relationships, including their evolving dynamics and sexual awakenings. The film receives praise for the honest portrayal of adolescence and sexuality. Y tu mamá también was acclaimed for its cinematography, which was done by Emmanuel Lubisky. The film utilizes long takes, fluid camera movements, and natural lighting to create a visual striking and immersive experience. In recognition of its achievements, the film received several award nominations, including an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Screenplay. The movie recognizes a significant work of Mexican cinema and is often cited as a landmark to film and coming of age genre. It successfully blends elements of drama, comedy, and social commentary, making it thought provoking and memorable cinematic experience. In rural Mexico, during 2001, there is various social issues that reflected broader challenges within the country. Some of the key social issues in rural Mexico during this time included poverty and economic equality. Rural areas in Mexico often experience high levels of poverty with limited access to economic opportunities. Many communities struggled with inefficient infrastructure, limited job opportunities, and inadequate access to education. Healthcare was also something that was very limited for people in these areas. Another key issue that affected people that lived in this area was land ownership and agrarian reform. The issue of land ownership and agrarian reform was historically been significant in rural Mexico. In 2001, disputes over land tenure, unequal distribution of land, and conflicts related to agrarian reform continue to be relevant, impacting the livelihoods of rural residents. Limited access to education was also a social issue during this time, and still is. Rural areas frequently face challenges in providing quality education. Issues such as lack of schools, qualified teachers, and educational resources contributed to the low educational attainment levels in rural communities. Healthcare disparities also was something that affected people because most of the time these services were limited in rural areas, leading to disparities in health outcomes. Many communities face challenges related to availability of healthcare facilities, medical professionals, and essential health services. Migration was also a social issue that was going on during this time. Economic hardships in rural areas often led to higher rates of migration as individuals sought better economic opportunities in urban areas and often internationally. This migration had social implications, including family separations and changes in community dynamics. Indigenous rights were also an issue that was being affected during this time. Many rural areas in Mexico were home to indigenous communities with distinct cultures and languages. Issues related to the recognition of indigenous rights, preservations, and cultural heritage, and representation of decision making processes were significantly social, socially challenging. Infrastructure deficiencies were mostly seen in rural areas, often lacking basic infrastructure such as reliable roads, electricity, and sanitation facilities. This lack of infrastructure hindered economic development and contributed to the isolation of some communities. And in this movie, we see that as they're going towards their destination, they're passing many pueblos or small towns with small homes, often lacking basic necessities. Sometimes homes without a door, sometimes homes without a roof, and then most of the people were on foot. It is important to note that the situation in rural Mexico is diverse, and the specific challenges faced by the communities can vary. Additionally, the social landscape evolves over time, and the issues mentioned here may have seen changes and developments since 2001. Y Tu Mamá También explores various cultural viewpoints, providing a nuanced portrayal of Mexican society. Some cultural viewpoints and themes in the movie include class disparities, sexuality and taboos, friendship and masculinity, a road trip as a cultural journey, political context, and cultural diversity. Some of the class disparities can be seen when Tenoch was able to have a home, was able to have a car. And when you see in the video, a lot of people are walking to their destination. The film depicts the economic and social disparities between the affluent urban elite and the less privileged rural populations. The road trip taken by the characters explores the stark contrast in living conditions, opportunities, and lifestyles between segments of Mexican society. Some of the sexuality and taboos that were presented in this movie were known to be frank and explicit depiction of sexuality. It challenges traditional cultural taboos surrounding sex and explores their characters' sexual awakenings and experiences. The film suggests that attitudes towards sexuality are complex and multifaceted in Mexican culture. Another thing that was presented within this film was the friendship between two main characters, Julio and Tenoch, a central theme. The film explores traditional notions of masculinity and male bonding, including how these concepts are shaped by societal expectations, peer pressure, and personal experiences and insecurities. Some of the cultural diversities in this movie touches on Mexico's cultural diversity, including the presence of indigenous communities. In its highlights, the complexity of the country's cultural fabric and acknowledges the rich tapestry of traditions and languages. Towards the end of the movie, these characters reach their destination, which amazes me that they were actually able to get to a destination that they had clearly made up. In summary, Y Tu Mamá También offers a multi-layered exploration of Mexican culture, addressing social, economic, and political aspects while delving into personal relationships and individual experiences. The film's cultural viewpoints contribute to its critical acclaim and make it significant work of Mexican cinema. Thank you.